You're listening to the Jamie Maloney Real Estate Show with local expert Jamie Maloney. Now, here's Jamie.
Hi again, everybody, and thanks for staying tuned in to the Jamie Maloney Real Estate Show here on 1250 WINS WHNZ. We were just talking with Shelton Quarles, Director of Football Operations for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers here in the first half of the show. We're going to go ahead and continue the show with the guests from iMortgage. We've got Robert Paredes and Kenny Gannon in studio with me. Robert Paredes is a sales manager with iMortgage and is an innovative sales leader with 17-plus years of experience within the mortgage business. He has expertise in building realtor and client relationships, as well as marketing, staff training, supervision, motivation, mentoring, and employee engagement. He is the current president of the Realtors Cares Foundation that provides down payment assistance, disaster relief, and community outreach throughout Hillsborough County. He is joined in studio with fellow iMortgage loan consultant Kenny Gannon. When considering the purchase of a new home, refinancing, or obtaining additional property, please contact Kenny and Robert with iMortgage for a personalized mortgage plan. Gentlemen, welcome to the show.
Hey, how are you?
Hey, doing great. Kenny, how about yourself?
Doing wonderful. Thanks for having us.
Thank you very much. You all may remember Robert. He's been on the show a number of times over with iMortgage. Now you were with Fifth Third Bank, correct?
Correct, yes. I was a banker for Fifth Third for about 7 years, and so I just joined iMortgage about 5 months ago.
Well, very nice. Thank you for coming back into the studio to share your mortgage knowledge with the audience and everything. How was the weekend? Anything going on special for you guys?
Actually,
Halloween parties? Nothing?
Yeah, it was actually my birthday weekend, so
interesting.
Yeah, so we had a good time.
Yeah, no crazy parties, no crazy outfits or anything?
No. Got to be ready. Got to be ready for Monday. You know, to Stella actually alluded or mentioned earlier that. There's a lot of buyers out there, and I want to echo that as well. There's a lot of folks looking to buy, and you know, I don't know if you know or you heard that the Feds actually stopped quantitative easing and buying of bonds, so rates are going up. So everybody who's been thinking about buying are now calling everybody to get that going.
Rates are going up. Oh wow, that's something to we don't want to hear and everything. And rates have been at historic lows for so long. You know, what do you what type of impact are we expecting? A big hit? A small hit?
Let me put an asterisk to that. They said that that the rates are going to go up, but we haven't seen it. I know that the Feds do want to keep it as low as possible because we're still jobs driven and we're not where we need to be. So you know, we do have their help. And but I tell you, if I could predict what the interest rates are going to be every day, I wouldn't be doing mortgages. I'd be on Wall Street. So who knows? The best thing to do is that hurry up and try to buy as fast as possible because you just never know. Volatility on the interest rates aren't day to day. So
where are rates at right now for the qualified borrowers? Right now? Where are they sitting at right now?
On a conventional loan with iMortgage is at 4.125 with no points. That's on a 30-year fixed, and the FHA came out to 3.875, no points as well. So they're still very low. I think probably that the Fed's decision last week is already priced into the market. So let's see what happens.
No, very interesting stuff.
Still very low.
Yeah, I mean it's crazy to think how low they are, and I've always said during this recession and downturn in the housing market that the low interest rates are what saved us.
Yeah, exactly. And for those folks out there that's listening to our radio show, I mean, I remember in the 80s when it was 18%, 19%. So it's even if it gets up to 5, 5.5, even 6%, they're still very historically low.
Yeah, it's just if we had the recession in addition to 7+, 8% interest rates, I mean the impact on the housing market would have been even worse than what it came out to be.
And you have to put things in perspective as well. Even a 7% interest rate still beats paying rent. So
it does, and I'd say 7, 8. That's actually historical averages.
Yeah, exactly.
And we're talking 3 and 4%. It's crazy to think, the difference between a 3 and a 7% rate, what that makes in a payment. So, I mean, if you're not, out there, in the market yet to buy, and you're considering, now's time to get out of the seat and purchase something. What do you say?
Agreed. Absolutely.
My weekend was pretty bland. Everything. I caught this event last night. I don't know if y'all saw this. Did y'all see the Skyscraper Live event last night? Did you see that? Any of you?
I didn't, but I read about it. I don't think I could have wait and look at this.
Yeah, I think I'd be a basket case watching it. There's no way.
I wanted to bring that up because the guy who did that, he's based in Sarasota, so I thought it was kind of relevant to the current events. But it was a very interesting thing. He walked across the tightrope. He had 2-part walk, and obviously he made it. You'd probably be hearing about it all day if he hadn't made it. But, you know, he walked across 2 skyscrapers in Chicago, and the first being a 15% incline, which ended up being a 19% incline. So after the rope was all set in place, and so he's walking up the equivalent of 8 stories across this rope. And then on the second part of the event, he did a second walk where he was blindfolded. And interestingly enough, you know, once he got ready to walk, there was a problem with the PA system, so he couldn't hear his father, who guides him across the ropes. So he had a, you know, there's a big crowd.
Are you saying that happened when he was blindfolded?
Right before he got on the walk, yeah, he finds out his PA system isn't working, and he can't hear his father, and his father has to use a bullhorn to basically shout, you know.
Oh yeah, and they ask the public to be quiet. So that
and everybody's down below is cheering and everything. He has to, you know, gets the crowd to, you know, to be quiet and everything, and it's. You know, I'm sitting there watching him. I'm probably more nervous. The average listener is probably more nervous watching him than he probably was on that road.
What possesses a person to do that? I have no idea.
Yeah, and interesting enough, I mean, he's a 7th generation walker, and he said last night on the event that 7 people in his family have passed doing that, including most recently his grandfather doing a walk in Puerto Rico, fell off the rope.
I thought you were saying that they are trained to actually fed and catch the rope, but I guess it doesn't work 100% of the time.
No, he talked about that, which was kind of interesting. Yeah, I mean, part of the process that he goes through is training how to catch the rope and fall. And he spoke of the event that he did last year at the Grand Canyon. He said that was probably his most difficult walk because of the winds coming out of the Grand Canyon. And he thought that he was going to have to fall and catch the rope, and he has to hang there until his rescue team harnesses up to the wire, and then they wheel themselves over to him on the wire and hooks him up to the harness. But it's something that he trains for as well, and it's just a very, you know, amazing and mesmerizing.
It is amazing,
you know, that somebody does that, and he just hops on that wire like there's nothing, you know, to be fear of at all. And you know, for next year, he's planning to do another walk, and his thing is going to be to do a headstand on the wire, because his great grandfather, I think he said, used to one time did a walk, and he did a headstand on the wire. So he wants to recreate that walk. So interesting to see the event. I guess it's going to become an annual thing on. I think it was on the Discovery Channel last night. So just an interesting piece of local news. But he's making quite a name for himself. His name is Nick Walenda, and 7th generation tightrope walker, and quite a daredevil as well. So, anyways, I just thought that was a fascinating thing, and something, how he's pushing himself to new limits. The blindfold was the first time that he had done that. First time I think any professional tightrope walker had done that in public, maybe even all together. I don't know. So
it's not even conceivable.
Yeah, the average person. I mean, he even mentions that on the walk, that you can't walk on a rope without vision, and you have to really train, because you're losing one of your senses, and a key sense, and that's why he needed his father to guide him across the rope and tell him where his steps needed to be in relation to the wire. And then the PA system.
How long was that walk?
I think he got across that in about 5 minutes. The first part of the walk.
That is a very long time to be.
Yeah, the first walk was a little bit longer, wire, which was up an incline. He did that one with vision, but the second one he did without the with the blindfold. But he didn't have the audio that he had thought he had. So just So
let's say it was blindfolded, and then. Deaf as well during that, so you had lost 2 of his senses.
Yeah. Anyways, interesting stuff. So I spent my evening last night watching that, in addition to the football games and everything. So, but I want to come back now over to Robert and Kenny and talk a little bit more with them about iMortgage and everything. So this company, I see you have an office in South Tampa. Tell me a little bit more about the company as a whole, because I'm not familiar with iMortgage.
Yeah, actually, iMortgage has been in business for 15 years now, over 15 years, and we're again, like you said, we're out of Scottsdale, Arizona. We're fairly new in the Tampa Bay market, about 5 months now, but we're doing a ton of business because the way our execution and our culture and how we do things differently than most of your lenders separates us from the rest of competitors as well. Probably one of the things that really sticks out is what we call common sense underwriting. So for any realtors out there or any lenders, like I said, I used to be with a bank for 7 years, and I love the people there, and I love the culture there as well, but they're just not lending. So I had to make a move personally and professionally as well, and I vetted about 10 or 12 different companies, and this is the one that I landed because of those qualities.
And Kenny, tell us the audience a little bit more about your background in the mortgage business and how you came to land over at iMortgage.
Yeah, I came from the banking side as well, and just kind of founded Robert over here professionally, and I've worked with him in the past as well. And just to his point, banks, yeah, they've kind of scaled back, constricted a little bit on the lending practices as it probably pertains to Dodd-Frank and such. So, yeah, we're doing amazing things. We're direct, we're direct Fannie and Freddie direct lender, and it's been phenomenal. We've been able to get people into great homes that they've been wanting to get into for some time now.
Yeah, and have been turned down elsewhere also.
Now, what are some of the ways that iMortgage differs then from traditional banks? I mean, obviously, iMortgage was impacted by the Dodd-Frank bill as well, correct?
Yes, it was. But here's the thing: it's the way the other lenders reacted to Dodd-Frank. Believe it or not, the misconception out there is that Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac makes it very difficult to lend. But what happens is their guidelines are not that restrictive. What happens is other lenders, and especially banks, have put their own guidelines on top of other guidelines as well, and that's what the issue is. And to Kenny's point, since we're direct lenders of Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, we follow exactly their guidelines, and what they say is what we do, and that's it. And that's what separates us and differentiates us as well.
And I was reading an article, I think just last week, that Fannie Mae guidelines are starting to ease coming up, maybe?
That's right. And so, again, but it's really going to depend on each lender and how they want to, how much risk they want to take on their books as well. Again, execution is big to us. We have accountability on our end. Our processors and underwriters actually work instead of our loan officers processing their own loans. But what it comes down to is that a culture from top down that we want to do loans, and we're not. You've got borrowers out there that maybe might have a little ding for whatever their situation is, but they're good borrowers. They pay their bills on time, they pay their mortgage on time or whatever, have great rental history, but for whatever reason, they're not being approved, and that's where we step in.
Very nice. Well, I'm going to take a quick break, but coming back from the break, I want to talk about some of the specialty loan programs that iMortgage has to offer, consumers out there in the marketplace. So if you're just tuning in, you've been listening to the Jamie Maloney Real Estate Show here on 1250 Wins WHNZ. We'll be back in a moment.
Maloney. Now, here's Jamie.
Welcome back to the Jamie Maloney Real Estate Show here on 1250 Wins WHNZ. We're currently talking with iMortgage. We've got Robert Paredes, sales manager, in studio, along with fellow loan consultant Kenny Gannon. So I want to go over to Robert and tell us a little bit about some of the programs that iMortgage offers that you can't find anywhere else.
Well, actually, I'm going to go ahead and defer to Kenny Gannon. He can talk a little bit about what some of the really cool stuff that other lenders are not able to do. As like I discussed at the last segment, is that we're able to do a lot of different things that other lenders are not able to do as well. So,
I think the biggest change that we had come through the pipeline as of late would be the 1 day out of foreclosure and short sale.
Yeah, did you hear about that?
No.
We can do 1 day. There is a loan program out there that you can do 1 day out of foreclosure or short sales. So if you put enough money down, since we're in a value, the values are going up. It's it's in that type of environment. The risk is not as heavy, and there is a lender out there that will do it.
What type of down payment are you looking at? Probably 50% or
no?
Usually entails about 20% down.
20%, yeah.
Wow.
And you don't have to have an 800 credit score as well. It's a 660 credit score is the minimum.
And that goes up to $1 million as well.
Does the average borrower have a 660 after 1 day out of foreclosure?
That's a great question. And the answer is yes, and I'll tell you why. The reason for that is you've got a lot of borrowers out there that paid everything on time, but for whatever reason they had to foreclose or short sale. So we don't keep into consideration the mortgage rates that they have, obviously, if you have a short sale foreclosure. But a 660 credit score is not that tough to get.
No, that's pretty much I would say probably average for the average person, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Very interesting. And so what else? What other programs do we have out there?
Well, for U.S. veterans, we actually partnered up with the Veterans Administration, and we rolled out a VA renovation loan, and we do up to $35,000 for any kind of enhancements, any kind of renovations on a home when they're going to purchase it as well. So whereas in the past, you've had a lot of VA loans kind of fall between the cracks, and they couldn't use their benefit as well at purchasing a home, and a lot of people shied away from being able to accept VA financing maybe Well, this is where this is going to cure that, fix that, and allow veterans to actually use their benefit, I feel, a lot more often and easily, readily available, because we'll be able to have those fixes built into the purchase of the home. Say the roof needs renovation or a fix, then that would be taken care of within the purchase.
And you know what? And to piggyback on Kenny, that's 100% loan with no mortgage insurance and no money down. So what we do is we actually use the after repair, after renovation value. So that we're actually one of 2 lenders in the United States that actually do them.
Yeah, I was going to say, I mean, until I spoke with you all recently, I'd never heard of a VA renovation loan program.
It's been on the books for quite a long time, but no lenders have stepped up to the plate to actually do it. And at iMortgage, we actually have a whole renovation desk and a renovation department. So we specialize in 203K loans. We do all those very streamlined and easily. So when we went to the Veterans Administration, they were excited about getting with us. And so we've actually spent 8 months with our underwriting department, our 203K department, our renovation department to perfect it. So there's really nothing from my side that we're afraid of to get it done. It's very, very easy and painless.
Now, how do they differ from the FHA traditional 203K loan? Is it obviously it's going to be the same process? You finance the cost of the repairs, but how are the loan costs and just the underwriting process? Is it comparable?
There's no MI, so it beats out any other kind of renovation loan in my opinion, because you have, I think, a $750 VA renovation fee, and that's it. I mean,
there's no mortgage insurance, and it's 100% no money down. I mean, that 203K FHA doesn't even come close to that.
And I guess the only cost that's abnormal with a VA is the funding fee, right? That the veteran has to pay and everything.
Yeah, but the FHA also has their own funding fee as well, so it's an apples to apples comparison. The only thing is that you don't have to put any money down, and there's no mortgage insurance.
That's interesting. Are you seeing a lot of people take advantage of this program yet, or are you just still kind of getting out there and spreading the word about this?
Well, like I said, it's newer that we rolled it out, but it's a very streamlined process since we already have the 203K department, so we're very confident. But no, we are absolutely rolling forward with it and taking calls on it.
Well, to answer your question directly is that no, and I'm really surprised. We've been telling a lot of many of the realtors and veteran folks out there who work with veterans to really take advantage of this loan program, but we only have maybe 3 or 4 right now that's happening. So that's why the reason why we're here is we want to let everybody know about this great program that's out there.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I had never even heard of it, and I've been doing real estate 7 years and closed 1,300 properties, and I've seen VA loans, but I've never heard of VA reno.
Yeah, exactly. So if you have real estate agents out there that specializes with veterans, this is something that they need to know about more, because they can be a deal breaker.
Very, very interesting. Now, what about USDA loans? Are you all familiar, or do you all work with USDA loans?
Yes, we do. Again, they've scaled down a little bit on the areas from the last couple of years, but we do USDA. We do Florida bond down payment assistance as well, and what that means is anywhere in the state of Florida, you can get up to $10,000 for down payment assistance if you qualify.
Down payment assistance. Now, that's through City of Tampa, or is that?
No, this is the state of Florida.
That's the state of Florida bond program.
Yeah, that's right. So it doesn't matter if you buy in Pinellas County, Pasco, Hillsborough County, you could qualify up to $10,000 for down payment assistance.
Yeah, and I had people in last week from the local CDC of Tampa,
right?
And they give classes. I think that's one of the criteria, right? You got to go through a class, right?
That's right.
And so I think there's City of Tampa program as well, and you're talking about this one coming out of the state of Florida. Do you see a lot of people, working with this program?
No, and here's the reason why, because many of the lenders actually stopped doing Florida bonds because the way they had their contracts structured and the buybacks and so on, a lot of lenders said, we're just not going to do it. But iMortgage does it. We're one of few that does.
Very interesting stuff. So let's talk a little bit here. We got a couple more minutes left. Let's talk a little bit about rent versus own and some of the benefits of home ownership as well. What type of differences are you seeing in mortgage rates versus, mortgage payments versus what people are paying out there in rent right now?
Well, I think that it definitely, with rates being at an all-time low still, I think it absolutely makes sense to take a look at it, because if you have your budget set out and your mortgage is there with mortgage insurance, even PMI, anything like that, you're still making an investment in your future by doing that and
by building equity.
Yeah, I mean, why pay your landlord's mortgage?
And
anymore,
I mean, for the people that are out there renting, I mean, we're at record high rents in the area.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I mean, the average subdivision 3 to 1,500 square foot home rents for anywhere between $1,300 and $1,600, and they're selling for $120,000 to $150,000. And what's a mortgage payment roughly on $120,000?
Well, depending on your taxes and insurance, it could be less than $1,000.
Right, and so why are people out there renting?
Exactly right. That's the $64,000 question. That's why we appreciate you having this radio show, because we want to educate our listeners out there as well.
Yeah, and this is the reason why we've had so much institutional investing coming into the Tampa market and in other markets across the country, is the high rent values that are out there, and so they're scooping up all these properties at record low pricing and putting them up for rent. So they're turning a lot of our subdivisions down in the southeastern Hillsborough County, and the rental communities.
Yeah, and just a couple of things that bullet points as well on different types of loan programs, which is again our loan. A list of loan programs we have is pretty robust, where we can do a 580 credit score with an FHA loan. Now, a lot of lenders say we can do 580 credit score, but they're not able to execute. We actually close those loans because we know how to structure the loans correctly. We even have a loan program out there that if you can't prove your income, but you've got lots of assets, you can actually derive income off that and close on a loan as well.
So you have an asset-based loan program.
That's right. That's right. Now, the great thing about that is that they can continue to manage their portfolio any way they want to, move the money any way they want to. They just need to keep a certain balance that they need to prove, and then we can derive income off that and we close on a loan, and we can do it up to, $5 million even. So for those high net worth clients and they want to buy jumbo loans and they really should be leveraging money, we have a program for that if they can't prove their income.
Very good stuff. So we got about another minute left here in the show and everything. So tell us, in short, a little bit more about where iMortgage is and how they can get in touch with you guys for loan approval and in the market here.
Yeah, we're actually located in South Tampa on Swan Avenue. You can get a hold of me directly, Kenny Gannon, at iMortgage, 813-523-4914, if you have any questions about any of the programs that we discussed today.
Okay, and what's the website? You just imortgage.com? Do you have a South Tampa branch?
Yeah, the best thing to do is just Google iMortgage Tampa, and then it'll you can click on our website as well. But Kenny and I actually work as a team. I'm the sales manager, and he's on my team as well, so any of us can help you.
Sounds like a plan. And you're also going to be up on the TampaBayRadio.com website as a expert contributor. They are two of my newest regular contributors here in the mortgage business to the Jamie Maloney Real Estate Show. Robert and Kenny, thank you very much for coming on the air today.
Thanks. You. We appreciate it.
Thanks, Jamie.
Thank you all very much. So if you're just tuning in, you've been listening to the Jamie Maloney Real Estate Show here on 1250 Wins WHNZ. First part of the show, we're talking with Shelton Quarles, Director of Football Operations for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and just want to remind everybody about his event coming up this Friday at 6:30 at Raymond James Stadium, which is the part of the Shelton Quarles Impact Foundation. He's got an event focused around celebrity waiters, and if you head over to sheltonquarles.org, you can find out about tickets. I think he said they're running at about $350, and they go to benefit his organization, the Shelton Quarles Impact Foundation. So again, if you're just tuning in, you've been listening to the Jamie Maloney Real Estate Show here on 1250 Wins WHNZ. Off air, find me at my website, TampaBayRadio.com, and catch me here every Mondays at noon, and I'll see you all next week on the Jamie Maloney Real Estate Show.